Well, Chukwudi, it's a pleasure to meet you. TheseUrbanTimes, TheseUrbanTimes. I thank you for sitting down with me this afternoon in Atlanta. Of course, had an opportunity to check out the film already, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And you're the new villain in the world of Marvel, but I want to give our audience a little more in-depth information on who you are as an actor and as a man. So could you just tell us a little bit about your upbringing in the world of acting?
Thank you for having me. Upbringing, wow, I'm Nigerian born, British Nigerian. My parents moved from Nigeria to Ethiopia when I was about 10. They joined the United Nations. They were economists, so we lived all over the world, from Ethiopia to Kenya to Lesotho to Switzerland to France and stuff. So to keep things a bit stable, I went to boarding school in England, so I wasn't changing schools all the time. And I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, and in England the system sort of has you choosing very early what you're going to be. So to buy myself a bit of time, I asked my dad if I could study in America instead. You know, you guys, that wonderful liberal arts education where for 2 years you can explore. And my dad made a bet with me. He said, if I'm going to let you go to America, you have to get into an Ivy League. So I got into Yale, and that was the single most expensive bet of my father's life, you know, so it was a lot and I studied economics there, but while I was there, that little acting thing that I'd sort of been interested in my whole life as a kid, it was where I really explored it. And I auditioned for a play called Beckett, and it's really weird, this is a segue. When I was 10 and living in Ethiopia, we had all these VHS videos. We used to borrow off each other, all the expats, because the television was so bad. And one of the movies that ended up in our home was Beckett, Jean-Louis Beckett with Peter O'Toole and Richard Burton. So I watched this movie obsessively when I was 10. For some reason, I couldn't take my eyes off them. Fast forward almost 10 years, I'm in Yale, and I auditioned for the play of Beckett, and I get the role of Beckett, and the head of undergrad drama comes to me and says, are you interested in acting? I said, yes. He says, I saw you in Beckett, and offered me a full scholarship to drama school, and that's how I chose to become an actor. It's really weird.
That is amazing. Now, and of course, now you're the villain, as we mentioned, in the world of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So talk to us about this role and how that all came about.
Oh my God, I was working with James Gunn on Peacemaker, you know, that other show. And it was the day we were filming, I don't know if you've seen the show, but it starts off with an opening dance number, and we were filming this crazy dance sequence. And James comes up to me and says, can I talk to you for a second? And I joked with him. I said, is this when you tell me you actually wanted to hire Chiwetel Ejiofor and not Chukwudi Iwuji and you made a mistake? And he said, no, I want to, not only that, but I want you to play the High Evolutionary in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And that's how it happened, and I was completely speechless. A few weeks later, we did a screen test to send over to Kevin Feige and, you know, Marvel. And I got a call like 3 days later after the screen test from James just saying, you got it, you know, we're good to go.
Where would you rank this villain in the Marvel, in the world of Marvel?
Number one, the best ever.
Why is that?
Because I'm playing him. No, I'm joking. No, he's very different from all the other villains. He is a true villain. I think there's a trend in the Marvel universe which is kind of cool of seeing villains sort of redeem themselves. You know, find sympathy when you think of Loki, or understand their story when you think of Thanos. So this guy's bad. You know, he has a single-minded zealotry, and he wants to create the perfect universe, and he will do it at all costs. And history has taught us people who have that idea of what perfect is are very dangerous people to humanity. And this guy is the cosmic embodiment of that sort of narcissistic, single-minded zealotry, you know? So he's a bad villain. But I hope he's kind of charming.
Well, I think you did an amazing role, and I'm looking forward to our audience seeing the film. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me.